Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the Robuilder YouTube channel. Today we're hopping into Blender and we're building kind of like a mini asset pack thing. It's for a Patreon supporter, so this is before I changed up all the Patreon rewards. Right now you just kind of get the asset packs I make for like fixing fan builds. All of those assets go onto Patreon. Build battle assets, all of those go onto Patreon. Everything like that. But this guy bought a tier before I changed all of that, so he has a few custom assets that he has requested. The three assets are snowman, a plane, and a aqua coral thing from a long time ago when I did a video on that. So to start things off, we're gonna do the snowman, and he said he wants like to see the polys, right? So like a very low poly look. For that, I think we're gonna go icosphere, and it's gonna make it really easy. Shift D, then we're gonna scale this one down. He sent me reference images as well, and he wanted a 2-stack snowman, based off the reference. I will add one more, because I am sending the Blender file, so I will add one more snowman stack thing down here, and he could just delete it if he doesn't want it, but it's there if he does. So then, the snowman he linked does have a top hat, so we're gonna make one of those as well. Go ahead and grab a sphere. I'm gonna make this, let's say 8 sides. That'll probably do good for what I need it to be. Go into edit mode, move it up to the top, something along there. Probably scale it down just a hair. Face select mode, grab the top face. This will be like the brim of the hat. Let's press L and sink this down just a little more so it seems more on the head. We're gonna press I to inset, E to extrude, and it seems their hat goes out like this, and I'm gonna add a little loop in the middle just to give it a little more shape. Something like that looks pretty good to me. Press L, and I think I want to rotate this back a little bit just so it has even more shape. And then I want to rotate it to one side, just once again for more of a nice shape to it. Up next, we got eyes, a carrot nose. So we'll do the carrot nose real quick. We could grab another cylinder for that, scale it down pretty far, R90. Perfect. Drag it up to where it goes. Scale it down a lot more as well because that's kind of massive. Right here is the middle of the face. We'll drag that back. And then we're just going to be grabbing this front face and scale it down, extrude, scale down, extrude, scale down. And then we'll kind of bend it up a little bit so we have a bit of variation in the nose and it doesn't look all perfect. There we go. He also specified he wants everything colored in Blender, so that'll be pretty simple as well. Up next, we have like some kind of stick arms. So for that, let me just go ahead and move all of this to the side. I'm going to bring in a cube, go into object mode, vertice select, Alt M at center, and I'm going to kind of lock our view. I'm using the same tactic we kind of use for trees. So let me just go like that, and that, something like this. Press A. I'm going to add a modifier on here called skin. Perfect. And as you can see, it's kind of, messed up. So I'm going to do Control A, and that's going to let me scale this down. And now we're going to click on the individual vertices and do Control A. So this one's going to be a bit bigger, and then this one will be a little bit bigger. And then as well, this could probably be a little smaller. And the finger tops could probably be quite a bit smaller as well. So something like this looks pretty good. I could add a subdivision surface, but he wants, that poly look. So I think the squares is probably more of the vibe he's going for. Let me go ahead and put one arm over here. Perfect. Shift D, and then R180, and throw the other arm over here. So now we got a little snowman looking kind of creepy. Kind of creepy, to be fair. I think I want to shrink make the arms a bit more stubby. So let me do SX and then S. Something like that probably. And I may add a subdivision surface as well, because it's still that poly look. It's just a little more rounded. So I think I'm going to do that. It looks a little bit better to me. Shade smooth and then auto smooth will still give us, we'll have it like this for now. So there we go. Now we just need the eyes and the buttons and maybe a scarf. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to make the scarf yet, but let me go ahead and get the eyes and buttons done because they're just spheres, but it's going to be kind of a process just getting them placed and everything. So I'm going to do that and I will be back. Alright guys, so the snowman is done. I hate making stuff with faces because it always looks a little terrifying. So let me go ahead, bring in the color grid. We're going to go to UV editing and just open up our color grid. If you do want this color grid, it is in my Discord. It's the top of the Dev Resources channel. So if you want it, you got it, my guys. All you got to do is add in a new color, click on this little circle right here, then image texture, and then click on the name of your file. And we're going to go ahead and press U, project from view, and that's going to give us the same view we have here. And we want this to be a black hat. So probably like gray black, like something like that, I think would look all right. And I'm going to go into material preview. Perfect. Now we're going to click on this. Obviously AS0, it's snow. I'm going to go kind of a whitey blue type of snow, like steel white sort of look. I think that looks all right. And then we have to repeat this process with image texture and then select where we're at. Of course, I didn't select everything. Now I did. And I'm going to bring that down to around here. Probably a little more white than that. Cool. I have the pupils in here. So yes, I did try to give it actual eyes instead of just making black dots. So, you know, you boys out here, make those solid whites. I'm going to grab all the black dots here, and I just have to do the same thing. Image texture 256, tab, AS0, and then G, and move that to black. Perfect. And then we have our nose here, which will be some sort of an orangey color. Something along here looks good to me. Nice and bright. I may change the hat to like a red or a blue because it's too much black in my opinion for a fun build. So yeah, I am going to change that. And if he wants to change anything later on, of course, that is a-okay. I'm also going to decimate these arms probably. But for now, they can be like a dark wooden color. Maybe a little lighter wooden. Yeah, something like that. And then let's go ahead and grab this hat. And I'm just going to press G to move this more towards like a blue or a red. I want it to be more fun. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at the other colors, black was pretty good. So I am going to go back to where it was. But there we go, guys. The snowman's done. And I'm going to join that all as one object and move on to the next thing. So let's move it to the side. All right, let's go ahead and do the low poly coral since that's going to be like the simplest thing on this whole list. We're already at 8 sides, which is good for me. I'm going to scale it down, grab the top face, and we're kind of going to scale this down a hair, extrude, scale down, extrude, and then scale up. And then I'm going to inset this like so, press E. We'll go down like this. And then we just need to add a bit of shape to it as well because nobody wants some super flat stuff. Okay, so we're gonna turn this a little bit this way. I'll fix up this line as well in here. Cool. Grab this. Can we turn that a little this way? Something like that. And I will rotate. I probably should have rotated everything before moving everything because that's definitely a kind of a mess, but it's really easy to fix. So we're all good. Coral usually gets bigger in the middle. So let me kind of scale these something like that. I'm gonna grab one more loop cut so I could scale this up as well. And I just want to make this look a little more smooth. You know, I edited it a whole lot, but I think this looks better. It'd be a lot easier to copy and paste it in different type of vibes, I guess. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and do that right now to show how simple it would be. We could scale this down, rotate it around something like this. We could do Shift D to make another one of those, rotate it around, scale it down, and have something along the lines of this. Now, of course, I want all of these to be at the same level, so that'll help the vibe a little more. Something like that, I think, looks pretty good. And then this one can come out a little more, as well as be rotated a little bit more, just to help break up the whole vibe here. And then I'm also going to squish it a little bit, just to make it a bit of a different shape. But there we go, coral's done. I'm going to join those together and get them textured real quick. So all I got to do here, AS0, and we'll do like pink, I suppose, because it's supposed to be like bright coral. Image texture and 256. Perfect. Now let me move those over next to the little snowman here. This is gonna be like an underwater snowman. I love what this is turning into. There's gonna be a plane too. I'm gonna make a little scene with the 3 assets as well because I think it'd be awesome at the end. But up next, all we have left is the plane. Let me go ahead and get started. I think what I'm gonna do is use a cylinder for the body, and I want to keep this kind of 8-side count so everything seems very nice in his game. I'm going to do R 90 degrees to rotate this, and yeah, I think I want to scale it along the y-axis. So this would be like the body of the plane. All right, so we're going to start with the front of this. He did say very low poly looks, which I love because 2 reasons. It's a little easier, and he's going to get a higher quality product because I am not good at high poly at all. So I'm going to scale this down, and then I'm going to inset it. to give something along these lines. And then I'm going to extrude it in and scale that down a little bit. And this will sort of be like the front of the plane. And I'm going to do Shift D, scale this down as well. Extrude it, scale it down again. I do want to move that back just a hair because it doesn't need to be sticking too far out. This is just enough for the propeller to sit on. So maybe a little further. I'm going to do Shift D, scale that up. Perfect. And then extrude, scale, extrude, scale, scale. Something along these lines. Looks good to me. And then there will be 2 propellers that kind of come out, one this way, one this way. I'll do those in just a moment. Now, for the back half of the body of this plane, we are going to add another loop cut because, of course, there needs to be room for the driver to sit. Now, there won't actually be a seat in this plane because the wings are going to cover it up. I have a reference photo that I'm kind of following that sums up what they wanted. This line here should probably go up a bit this way, and then I'll just scale this guy down. Something like that would be the body of the plane, guys. And now we need our landing wheels, our wings, and of course our propellers. So I think propeller would be first things up. Let's go ahead, spawn a new object, and I think I'm gonna go with a cube and scale it on Z-axis, something like this, and then add 3 loop cuts. Yikes. We're gonna need to scale this on the Y-axis as well because, yeah, that's a thick propeller. All right, so now that I have this, I think I'm gonna grab this loop cut in the middle, turn on my proportional editing, and I'm gonna press G just to see how much it's affecting. Pretty good. So S to scale, and that's gonna give me more of the look that I wanted. And then let me grab this and S, scale this down like so. And the same for the other side, just not as much. So something along these lines looks pretty good to me. Now, I'm going to turn off my proportional editing. This needs to be a little thinner, so scale it on the Z-axis, something like that. And that should be good if we put it up here. It should look pretty good. And this goes right behind this guy. So something like that. Perfect. I really actually like that. So it's pretty centered as well. Let me go ahead and press L, Shift D, R180. Perfect, and put it right over here. Something like that. And there's the front of our plane. All we have left is the little fins on the back and the wings, of course, and then the landing wheels. So let me get the fins made real quick. This video is already pretty long. I don't know if you guys are, I don't know if you like to sit through the videos like that are crazy long yet or not. So let me know if you guys want like longer videos that are more in-depth. There's always people telling me to like not cut as much, because I cut a lot when I'm editing because I don't know if you guys like want to see the whole process, but a lot of people tell me not to cut. So I'm trying to cut less in this video and see if you guys like it a bit better. So I'm thinking something like this for the back wings. I do want to grab all of this and let's scale it down, put it on the back and see how it looks. It's going to be right in the middle. Perfect. And almost all the way to the back. Probably, yeah, we'll just connect it with the back. So something like this. And then of course it needs 2 on the sides as well. So I'm going to do Shift D, R 90 degree. That has it turned this way, so I'm going to push that over and drag it down. Do we want to connect it with this side and be like perfect? We might as well. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to do Shift D, R 180 degrees, and scale it over this way and connect it same distance as the other one. So there we go. This is like the main body of our plane. Looks pretty good to me. Now let's add in the wings. So for the wings, let's go into edit mode. Let's do S and Z to scale them this way. We'll do that one more time, S and Z. And then we might keep them this thickness because that looks pretty good. We'll do S and X to bring them kind of a wingspan look. I want to add in 2 loop cuts. Yeah, I want to make this a little thinner. SY. There we go. Now 2 loop cuts. Perfect. I want to grab the 2 end faces, this guy and this guy, and just move them down a hair just to give a little bit of shape to the wings. And then I want to move these in. So I'm going to grab this line, this line, this line, and this line, and I'm going to press S to kind of scale those in a little bit. And that's going to give us a cool little shape to the wings. We're going to drop this pretty much right on top. There's going to be a little room that I could put supports in. And yeah, I think it should be thicker again. So like something like this. It's very cartoon aesthetic. And then Shift D. And I want to put one sort of like down here as well. So this kind of a look for the plane. Let me make the supports. Those are just blocks. I think I could cut that out with no problem. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So this is the plane. I think it's done, other than coloring, of course. And I just hit him up and he said, "Hey, bro, I wanted the other coral. This is the only thing he didn't send a reference for. He just kind of told me from the video I made a long time ago, and I didn't know which one from that video, so I made the easiest one. And turns out he wanted the other one, which is no big deal. I got this. It's gonna be the same method we used. We're gonna grab in a cube. What was that? Oh, that was just the little the little origin thing. So we're gonna grab in a cube, go into edit mode. This thing right here, vertices select, and we're gonna do Alt M at center, and now we're just gonna kind of click sort of all over the place. It's very random what he wants, so yeah, it's not gonna be too bad. I'm gonna turn my camera, click a little bit, which I probably should have already done, and let me randomize these vertices, add a skin modifier, and then fix it all up. Alright guys, just added the skin modifier and scaled it down a little bit, so this is pretty much the look he wants already. I need to, of course, fix it up a little bit because, hey, we could definitely make this a little bit better. And I think I should probably put a subdivision surface on it because the one in the video definitely had that. All right, we will apply our subdivision surface, or we have to go into object mode first. But let me kind of make this a little weirder. So I'm going to go into my wireframe mode and add a loop cut very close to the top of each of these and scale it out like this. And it's gonna make it more puffy. All right, guys, there it is. Let me go ahead and apply both of these modifiers. Perfect. I'm gonna decimate this guy just a little bit. It's not too high poly, but you know, he wants more of that lower poly look, I believe. So something like this. Sure, why not? Yeah, that looks good. Now, look at all of these little assets, guys. I could build something cute. So here's what it is. I'm going to set up a little scene with all of this stuff. Let me first off duplicate them and put them to the side because, of course, I'm going to be sending him the Blender file. And he's probably going to want his assets in a clean spot. So I'm going to build a little scene, get the rest of this stuff colored, and I'll be back when it's all done to showcase everything. Alright guys, so here's my little scene. Of course, it's not going to be anything too coherent because we have underwater things, winter things, summertime things, everything you could want. But I love how everything in this turned out. The plane looks pretty cool. I love the snowman. The coral looks really nice. So guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. One more satisfied Patreon member. Done, and done. Also, I think this has inspired a new series I may start where I use a random word generator and get like 3 or 4 different words and try to make a scene out of whatever those 3 or 4 word assets are. I think that'd be hilarious and come up with some really random things. So if that's something you want to see, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Later.